morning and welcome to April 21st through 27th. When you are accessing It's Learning, please make sure that you are starting from the start.hcps.org site. That has all the tiles in it and it'll make it easier for you to log in when you hit It's Learning. Once you are in, you see your tiles as so with all of your courses listed. I've got honors as the top one up. When you log in, your page should look something like this. This is the student version that I can see when I go through and am planning. But again, some things are not as clear to me how you see them as I'm setting them up. Our lessons this week are the very first thing up here. So we've got plans. You'll see the dates for this week there. And our first lesson of the week out of the 3 is the leap. If you hit the start button, it will take you through all of the pieces as like one straight shot through. So here is the lesson page. We have our warm-up. What personal qualities does a person have to take a leap against great odds? Write about a time when you or someone you know took a leap. What happened? What was the result? I can click here and it will open up a page for me where I can answer the assignment. It creates my own version of the document that was up there. Each person has their own personal document. And then I just type right in, and when I'm done, I hit submit. And it is that easy. Now I'm all set. I can go back in and also modify it as I need to. All right. And I'm going to just pop back real quick so that I'm on our lesson page again. We are reading this week a short story and a poem. So our short story is The Leap. There is some information about the author here if you're interested in learning more about her. And the copy of the short story is here. And the author says about her mother, I owe her my existence 3 times. As you read, you want to pay attention to what are those 3 times. Okay. After you finish reading, you then have the close read questions. Just like our warm-up, once you click here, it'll give you a Word document that you can type directly into. Author's craft. This short story uses a lot of suspense. And so here is a brief article that you can check out on what suspense writing looks like and how authors really kind of dig in to create tension. And there's some things that you may want to think about as you go through that, especially the first and third scenes of the story. Again, there's nothing to turn in here. These are just some things to think about for later on. All right, now I'm going down the second column. The essential question and the objectives set up some of the basics of the lesson. There's nothing there that you need to turn in. Then we have our closure here. How does the author's writing style strengthen her theme? And once I click there, it once again, just like that warm-up, will open up a brand new online Word document for me, all mine that I can type directly into and then hit submit. So kind of showing you that again. Open her up, answer the assignment. There's my lovely answer. Pop back over here, submit. And now this will appear over here when the teacher goes to look at it. Alrighty. Alright, back to my lesson page. And down here are resources. I try to keep those kind of towards the end there. Those are things that you may want to reference as you're going through, things that maybe just need a quick, hey, what is the definition of that? Can you give me an example of that? I try to bring in a couple pieces of those for each lesson. So like here, the author is using a lot of flashback. So if you want to or need to review that, you just click there. Also theme. There's a tutorial through a digital collection that we have access to about theme. If that's something that you're still struggling with, creating a full life lesson, not just a one-word motif, then this is a great resource for you. And I'm still trying to bring in alternate submissions. I know a lot of you guys are using our handwriting materials and taking pictures of them. I'm loving it. I'm loving the video files that you've created for pages and pages. This has been really awesome with your creativity to get your work in. And so down here are the Turnitin versions. So if I clicked on the warm up and I had hand wrote it out and I needed to pop in a picture of it, then I can do so right here, like Adriana did. Alrighty, and so that takes you through the first piece. If I want to kind of skip around a little bit, I can also access all of the stuff through plans if I don't want to hit play on that opening screen. And I just look for our current week and go down. There's the leap that we just did. The very top is that lesson page that we went through. Here's the gift. That's our second day, whenever you choose for the second day to begin during this week. I'm going to hit the gift, and it's going to take me through again. Here's my opening, and these are all think abouts, nothing to submit. The gift. This poem is a little more complex in my opinion. He's not as straightforward as what we looked at last week, so I tried to give you guys some resources to help with that. So one interesting piece that I was able to find was a reading by the poet himself, and he gives a little introduction. So you may want to click here and listen to the poet. Let's see, we've got the close reading questions here. And down here in Author's Craft, I found this wonderful video of Rebecca Belcarkel, who is a professor of English in Texas. And she really kind of digs into the poem and breaks it down for you in a way that I couldn't really do through this particular medium. It's a little bit better than this video that I'm making right now. So you may want to take a peek at that before the close reading, trying to kind of, if you're stuck getting your head kind of wrapped around it, it's a great resource right there. Again, there's nothing to submit for that learning experience. It's there just to help support you. Next column, we got the essential question and objectives again for the lesson. Again, nothing to submit with those. They kind of are similar throughout the week. Culminating assessment, again, we'll just open it up. This is going to ask you to look at both the leap and the gift and try to think about what is some type of life lesson that we're learning about those relationships between children and their parents. This culminating assessment will also help you when you get to the writing lesson, because we have reading, and then writing is our cycle for the weeks. Resources. For this particular one, I put in imagery, and if you need a review, definitions, examples, click there. Figurative language, we're pretty good with that, but just in case, if you need a little review, some examples, click there. And connotative words, right? Words that make us feel things. If you need a little bit of a refresher, click there. Then we've got our alternate submission spots. If you're taking pictures, handwriting, are not able to upload the document in some way, you can use that one. Alrighty, so again, that was going through plans and just hitting that top lesson page button, and it opens me up for all of my resources, and I just kind of go column by column. Now, the last one for the week, I'm going to go back to our main page, and so if I look here, right, we've got day 1, start. I'm going to show more. There's day 2, start, and then day 3. So I'm going to hit start from here again. So maybe my day 3, maybe I've been working quickly and I did day 1 Monday, day 2 Tuesday, day 3 Wednesday. Maybe I'm going to take a day in between each one. Maybe I'm going to split them up and work half of it on one day and half of it another day. However you want to split these up over the course of the week, that is totally up to you. Just slow and steady is perfectly fine. All right. And as we're going through here, I'm going to ask you again to, if you are able to take this survey about your experiences. I got about 14 responses from honor students during the first week, and it really helped me to be able to see what you were finding useful and what problems you are finding. Learning experience. And this is just for you to start to brainstorm. So there are some questions, and as you go through, there's nothing to turn in here. It's just going to start you on your journey for the writing in this lesson. Learning experience essay assignment. So we are going to look at that essential question that's running through the week. What connects us to those we care about? And so you may want to use your culminating assessment kind of closure from lesson 2 to help with this, because we're going to think about how do both texts connect to that question. All right. For brainstorming, there is nothing to turn in. You do not need to turn in your brainstorming. But as we know, it's better to organize our ideas. We make a stronger essay when we do. So I have a couple resources here. We've got the outline. That's the one that we use all the time. It is a PDF, unfortunately, so you can't type directly into it. But if you found it useful, if you want to print it off, even if you want to handwrite something that looks similar, it at least gives you kind of that model. Poplet is a great tool to kind of just toss your ideas all out and then start to make connections. Reminds me a lot of like if you had a bunch of post-it notes on a wall and you just moved them around a bit. And then here's a interactive digital essay map if you want something that you can type into, move around, and work with that way. Then down here, I have a self-review checklist. If you are able to workshop with a relative, family member, brother, sister, a friend that you're in contact with, that is awesome. It's always great to have some feedback on your work. But just in case, here is a self-review checklist, and if I click on that and open her up, it's a lot of the things that we have covered throughout the year. So remember in, our header and how the title is, indenting our paragraphs, including our tag for whatever text we're talking about, right? Making sure that we have the title, the author, and what it is. Is it a short story? Is it a poem? A clear claim statement. No I's or U's or we's. No contractions. Short story and poem titles are both in quotation marks, not italics. And your citations for your quotes, the short story is the last name and page number. Page numbers run on the bottom of this document, if I remember correctly. And poem is author's last name and line number. Okay. Look, I X'd out of there, but I can still go right back in. Okay. When you are ready to submit your final essay, I have 2 spots open for you. So there is I'm going to open that in a new tab to make it a little easier for me. The It's Learning version of the assignment that looks like this. And then you answer the assignment, and you can drop a file here, or copy and paste, or type directly in there and save as a draft and work on it in this spot. The other option is the Turn It In assignment. I'm going to open a new tab. And I can upload in the assignment that typically looks like this. And remember, if you are going through the Turn It In, it will not get it from your OneDrive. It refuses to talk to your OneDrive, even though it claims it is an option. Alrighty. Down here is some citation help in our resources if you want to look a little bit more into that. Alright, and that is our 3 lessons for this week. If you need to access just one part of that, you can always go into resources. I'm trying to move us out of here and make it as streamlined as possible. Yeah, I'm learning something new every day about how to use this, and I'm trying to adapt and modify as we're going along. But if I'm in my folder for the week, it'll lay out all of my things. I also put together some frequently asked question guides. So we have, are accessing all the tools from outside. We've got setting up if you want to use the app, the It's Learning app, getting to each of the lessons, even that's changing and modifying to make it easier for you, and submitting assignments just like I went through. As always, any questions that are coming up, I'm pretty much every day I start answering emails at about 8 a.m. Monday through Friday, and shut down the computer for the evening at about 3 o'clock. So anytime between 8 a.m. and 3 p.m., you're bound to get a pretty quick response. Alright guys, I'm hoping to make another video or two to get to you guys to explain some things, but hopefully you found this helpful, and hopefully you're staying safe and taking care. Let me know anything that I can do to help you out, and have a great day.